All right, so let's dive into this Mars thing everyone's been talking about.
Yeah,
NASA's InSight lander,
right.
touching down successfully.
Huge deal.
Japdol, and then of course some of the photos they've been putting out afterwards.
Oh, yeah, some interesting ones for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a couple of sources here.
Okay.
One's just like a discussion about the landing itself,
Mm-hmm.
and then another one's a video that's taking kind of a skeptical look at some of the images they've released.
Okay.
So, are you ready to
I am ready.
explore the red planet, question what we think we know?
You know, it's funny. It's like you think with everything going on down here on Earth
Yeah,
that a planet millions of miles away
right.
wouldn't be such a big deal,
Yeah.
but people get so excited about Mars.
They do.
It's like the symbol of escaping to a fresh start,
Mm.
even if that fresh start is giant, dusty desert.
Yeah, and let's be honest,
Yeah.
that fresh start would probably be a
Yeah.
lot of dehydrated food and recycled shower water.
Most likely, yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely this,
Oh, yeah.
like, romanticism about Mars.
For sure.
Even our source talks about how, when InSight landed,
Yeah.
that NASA was like
Yeah.
boiling and cheering, and you almost wonder
Well, absolutely.
if they were just relieved that it didn't crash,
Right.
like 2/3 of the previous Mars missions.
It is remarkable how often we kind of forget how difficult it actually is
Yeah.
to explore space, and especially to get to Mars.
Yeah.
Since the 70s, we've been trying.
Right.
And it's only worked about a third of the time.
Yeah.
And with that kind of failure rate,
Yeah.
you got to jump for joy when something does go right.
For sure makes you appreciate those scientists and engineers.
Absolutely.
I mean, imagine the pressure.
Oh, yeah.
But it also makes you think, like, why are we so obsessed with Mars?
Yeah.
Is it aliens?
Right.
Is it just sci-fi dreams? Is it because it's red?
It could be the allure of the unknown. You know, humans have always been driven to explore, to push beyond what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And Mars, with all of its secrets and potential,
Right.
it just offers this tantalizing glimpse into this vast unknown.
Yeah, speaking of pushing boundaries,
Yeah.
our source also mentioned
Yes.
that Japanese billionaire,
Oh, right.
what's his name? Yusaku Maezawa,
Yes.
with his planned 2023 trip to the moon.
I don't know that.
He wants to go to Mars eventually, but
Ambitious.
even our source is kind of like, we'll see about that.
All right.
And they bring up some pretty good points about how challenging it would be
Yeah,
to actually get humans to Mars.
absolutely.
It's not just like a weekend trip,
No, it's more like a year-long
Okay.
endurance test just to get there.
Yeah, imagine being confined to a spaceship for that long.
The psychological toll alone
Oh, no.
would be immense.
Yeah,
Not to mention the physical effects of
right.
zero gravity on the body.
Yeah.
You get muscle atrophy, bone loss,
Oh, yeah.
even changes to your vision.
It's no spa day, let me tell you.
So, okay, imagine this.
Right.
You're stuck in this metal tube for a year
Okay.
with the same 4 people.
Yep.
You're eating that, like, space food,
Yeah.
and your bones are turning to dust.
Right.
Suddenly, Mars doesn't sound so great anymore.
Not so appealing anymore.
Makes you wonder what kind of personality it takes
Yeah.
to sign up for that.
It would require a very unique blend
Right.
of resilience, adaptability, and maybe even just a little bit,
Okay.
optimism.
Yeah.
But it also speaks to that human spirit of adventure,
Mm-hmm.
the willingness to face the unknown, even when it's incredibly challenging.
Yeah. All right, so maybe a manned mission to Mars is still a ways
A
off.
distant dream.
But we can at least look at all the images and data we do have, right?
Absolutely.
Which brings us to that video
Oh,
that was looking into the questionable photos
Right.
from NASA. And we're not talking about, like, full-blown conspiracy theories.
yeah. Healthy skepticism.
I like it.
Like that friend who always asks if the restaurant reviews are from bots.
Right, exactly. You got to think critically,
Yeah,
especially when it's information from sources we already tend to trust.
exactly.
It's about asking questions, considering other explanations,
Right.
and then forming your own conclusions based on the evidence.
Exactly.
Yep.
So this first image that caught our source's eye
Yeah.
was showing the Martian surface
Okay.
with this thing called a Mars dial.
Okay.
And it's basically this color calibration target for their cameras.
Interesting.
And it's got these 4 colors on it, right?
Mm,
You know what's missing in the photo that NASA released.
what's that?
2 of them.
Oh, wow.
The blue and the green are just gone. It's
Interesting.
like they never existed. Like, what kind of cosmic Photoshop is going on over there?
Yeah, it has led some to believe
Right.
that maybe NASA is manipulating the colors in these images
It makes you wonder,
to portray a certain narrative or manage public expectations.
do they think we can't handle a little blue sky?
Right.
Or are they hiding something more sinister?
Yeah.
I mean, what else could those missing colors be covering up?
It's possible, but we should also consider other explanations as well.
Okay.
I mean, Martian dust storms can drastically change how the sky looks.
Oh, yeah.
It can make it look more red or brown.
Okay, fair point. Those dust storms are intense.
Yeah, they are.
But this next anomaly is even weirder.
Okay.
So there's these 9 photos from the Curiosity rover back in 2015.
Right.
And they show this shadow,
Mm-hmm.
these photos taken by Curiosity's camera.
Yeah.
It's like a series of still images that make a sort of time lapse
Right.
of this Martian landscape.
Gotcha.
And it's like a little Martian horror movie.
Oh, wow.
This shadow moves splits
Uh-huh.
and then just burrows into the ground.
Oh, that's creepy.
I know, right? And our source points out that some of the photos in the sequence are missing,
Really?
like conveniently missing right where the action is. Like they're editing out the good parts.
That is intriguing.
I know, right? It's suspicious.
Yeah.
Like what's lurking beneath the Martian soil?
Right.
Is it just a trick of the light or
Mhm.
some kind of subterranean Martian worm monster?
It's important to approach these things with a healthy dose of skepticism,
Right.
but to also remain open to different explanations.
Okay.
There could be perfectly good scientific reasons that we haven't thought about yet.
Okay.
Or maybe we have found something really extraordinary.
All right. My mind is officially blown.
Yeah.
But before we get too lost in this Martian mystery,
Yeah.
let's look at one more picture from our source.
All right.
And this one is a real head scratcher.
Okay.
He shows this really desolate, rocky landscape.
Okay.
Looks just like the surface of Mars.
Yeah.
And there are even these figures in the background.
Okay.
You could almost mistake them for astronauts or,
Or something else.
something else.
Yeah.
I know, right? If at first you'd swear it was Mars.
Yeah.
But hold on to your spacesuits, folks.
Okay.
This picture wasn't taken on Mars at all.
Really?
It was taken at a NASA research base in Canada.
Interesting.
It's a facility where they simulate Mars.
So it's like a Martian movie set.
Exactly. Right here on Earth.
That's pretty cool.
Which on the one hand is smart.
Right.
You got to train the astronauts somehow.
Of course.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
makes you wonder about some of those other photos they've released.
Right. It shows how important it is to verify your sources
Mm-hmm.
and to think critically about the information you're given.
For sure.
Don't just accept everything at face value.
Especially when it's from organizations that benefit
Exactly.
from shaping public perception.
Right.
That's for sure.
For sure.
We'll be right back after a quick break.
It's amazing how just like a few blurry pictures from millions of miles away
I know, right?
can cause so much debate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just shows our fascination with the unknown
Yeah.
and maybe that need we have to question what we're told.
Yeah, absolutely. A little healthy skepticism never hurt anybody.
Right.
But I think we should acknowledge that NASA's doing some pretty incredible work
Of course.
exploring Mars.
The data and the things we've learned from their missions is invaluable to our understanding of the solar system.
Absolutely agree. But let's be real. Sending humans to Mars is a
Oh,
whole other
completely different.
ballgame.
Yeah.
And our source dives into this too.
Yeah.
And it's not as easy as just hopping on a rocket and waving goodbye.
It's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
So many technological and logistical hurdles.
Right.
The journey itself would take about a year
Yeah.
with our current technology.
A year in space.
At least.
I could barely handle a cross-country flight.
I hear you.
Imagine being stuck in a cramped spaceship for a year,
Right.
eating nothing but dehydrated food,
Space food.
doing space yoga to keep your bones from disintegrating.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Right.
The psychological impact of that much isolation and confinement. Yeah.
Would be huge for anyone.
Right.
Plus the physical effects
Yeah.
of microgravity for that long.
Uh-huh.
Muscle atrophy,
Yeah.
cardiovascular issues,
Right.
even potential changes in gene expression.
It's not just a vacation to the red planet.
No.
It's like...
It's more like a high-stakes science experiment.
Yes.
Where you're the guinea pig.
Right. And it makes you wonder if all these billionaires who want to go,
Yeah.
if they've really thought it through.
It's definitely a risk,
Right.
but it's driven by this very human desire to explore,
yeah.
to expand, to push boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even to find solutions to the problems we're facing here on Earth.
Yeah. Speaking of pushing boundaries,
Yeah.
our source mentioned this wild concept
Okay.
called terraforming,
Oh, yeah.
turning Mars into Earth 2.0.
Basically manipulating the Martian environment to
Mhm.
try to create a habitable atmosphere
Right.
a good temperature,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately a self-sustaining ecosystem.
So we're talking like releasing greenhouse gases.
Potential melting the polar ice caps.
Yes.
Even like sending Earth life up there to kind of get things going.
Those are some of the theoretical approaches.
Wow.
But each one comes with its own challenges and consequences.
Right.
It would take centuries,
Yeah.
if not millennia.
It's like science fiction,
It is like science fiction.
but on a planetary scale.
On a planetary scale.
And it raises some big questions like,
Yeah.
do we even have the right to do that to another planet?
Exactly.
What would happen to any Martian life that might be there?
Right.
Could we even pull it off without totally messing things up?
These are all important questions that scientists and ethicists and policymakers, they're all grappling with these as we kind of venture further into this realm.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. And our source even brings up the idea that life on Mars might evolve on its own.
Right.
Without us having to do anything.
There's this theory that you could maybe introduce simple life forms.
Okay.
Like algae or bacteria to kickstart that evolutionary process, which would lead to a more complex ecosystem, and then eventually a habitable atmosphere.
So we just sprinkle some Earth microbes on Mars.
Essentially, yeah.
Sit back and watch evolution do its thing.
It's a long shot, but it is a fascinating possibility.
It's like cosmic gardening.
It really is. It's an amazing thought.
Yeah.
That we could potentially play a role in the emergence of life on another world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think about how much responsibility we have.
Huge responsibility.
When we're talking about actions that could affect an entire planet.
A whole planet, exactly.
This is getting pretty deep. I think we need a moment to process all this.
Yeah.
Before we jump into the final stretch
of our
Martian exploration.
All right, we're back and ready to kind of wrap up this whole Martian adventure.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. We've talked about, the science.
The challenges.
The
ethics.
The ethics, even.
But I think there's an even bigger question here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, why are we so fascinated with this seemingly barren world?
Yeah, is it the adventure?
Maybe.
Is it just this idea that maybe there's alien life out there?
Possibly.
Or is it just that it's this blank slate?
Mm-hmm.
And we can imagine whatever future we want for it.
It's kind of a reflection of us, I think, as a species, explorers and dreamers, but also destroyers and cynics.
Right.
So Mars is like this canvas where we project all of our hopes and fears.
Like we're looking in a cosmic mirror.
Exactly.
And we see ourselves reflected back.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
All the good and the bad.
Yeah.
It makes me think about those anomalies we were talking about earlier.
In the pictures.
Yeah, whether they're, natural or glitches.
Right.
Or something else entirely. They make us question what we see.
Absolutely.
What we're told, even what we believe.
They serve a purpose, those anomalies. Even if eventually there's a perfectly normal explanation for all of them, it sparks curiosity, it gets people debating and thinking, and it reminds us that what we understand about the universe is always evolving.
It's not just about finding the answers. It's about the journey.
Exactly.
It's about questioning things.
Yeah.
The pursuit of knowledge.
Even when it takes you down a weird path.
Right. Exactly. And that's the beauty of it all.
It is.
Whether you're like a total space nerd or just someone who likes a good mystery.
Right.
Mars is just fascinating.
It is. It reminds us that the universe is full of wonders, just waiting to be discovered.
Yeah.
And that wanting to learn and know things is a big part of what makes us human.
So what does all this mean for you, dear listener? Well, it means that there's a whole universe out there.
A whole universe.
For you to explore, literally and figuratively.
So true.
You can research NASA's missions.
You can look at those pictures for yourself.
Look at those photos.
And decide what you think.
Draw your own conclusions.
Exactly. And as you do that, just remember to keep an open mind. Question everything.
Right.
And never lose that sense of wonder.
Because who knows? Maybe one of you listening right now will be the one to unlock the secrets of Mars.
That would be amazing.
Or discover something even more incredible out there in space.
It's possible.
Until then, keep looking up, keep asking questions.
Absolutely.
And we'll catch you on our next deep dive.